Welcome back, children, to the part 2 from the chapter Waves. In this module, let us discuss about nodes and antinodes and also beats. The amplitude of a standing wave does not remain the same throughout the wave. It keeps on changing as it is a function of x. At certain positions, the value of amplitude is maximum, and at certain positions, the value of amplitude is 0. Nodes represents the position of 0 amplitude, and antinode represent the positions of maximum amplitude. Nodes and antinodes can be seen from the figure. The red and blue dots represent antinodes, whereas the black dots represent nodes. We know at nodes amplitude is 0. So in the case of a standing wave, the amplitude 2a sine kx must be 0, which implies sine kx is equivalent to 0 or kx is equivalent to n pi. The value of x represents the position of nodes where the amplitude is 0, or x is equivalent to n pi by k. We know from the definition of k that k is equivalent to 2 pi by lambda. So the positions of nodes is represented by x is equivalent to n pi divided by 2 pi by lambda, which is n lambda by 2, where n is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, etc. Note that half a wavelength or lambda by 2 separates two consecutive nodes. We have already seen that at antinodes, amplitude is maximum. In the case of a standing wave, the amplitude 2a sine kx must be maximum. This is only when sine kx is equivalent to 1 or kx is equivalent to n plus half pi. Substituting for k, we get the position of antinodes as x is equivalent to n plus half lambda by 2, where n is equivalent to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Note that half a wavelength separates two consecutive nodes and antinodes are located halfway between the pairs of nodes. Now let us discuss about the nodes and antinodes in a system which is closed at both ends. A system closed at both ends means that both the ends are rigid boundaries. At rigid boundaries, there is no displacement. This implies that at the boundary, amplitude is always 0. That is, nodes are formed at the boundary. Standing waves on a string of length L fixed at both ends have restricted wavelength. This means that the wave will vibrate for certain specific values of wavelength. At both the ends, nodes will be formed. That is, amplitude will be 0. We have already seen that the expression for node is x is equivalent to n lambda by 2. This is true when x is 0 and L. When x is equivalent to L, L is equivalent to n lambda by 2 or lambda is equivalent to 2L by n, where n is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That is, lambda cannot take any value, but it can only take values which satisfy the expression lambda is equivalent to 2L by n. That is why we say that the standing wave on a string which is tied on both ends has restricted wavelength. As the wavelength is restricted, the number, that is the wave number, is also restricted. We have already seen that V is equivalent to nu lambda, or nu is equivalent to V by lambda. The corresponding frequencies which a standing wave can have is given by nu is equivalent to V into n by 2L, where V represents the speed of the traveling wave. These frequencies are also known as natural frequency or modes of oscillations. That is, nu is equivalent to V into n by 2L, where V represents speed of the traveling wave, L represents length of the string, and n is any natural number, represents the modes of oscillations. For a system which is closed at one end and open at the other end, we will have one fundamental frequency and only odd harmonics. Now let us discuss something about beats. Beats is the phenomenon caused by two sound waves of nearly same frequencies and amplitudes traveling in the same direction. For example, tuning of musical instruments like piano, harmonium, etc. make use of the property of beats. Before we start playing on these musical instruments, they are set against a standard frequency. If it is not set, a striking noise will keep on coming till it is set. Mathematically, let us discuss about the formation of beats. Consider the time dependent and not the position dependent part of the wave. That is, S1 is equivalent to A cos omega 1 into t, and S2 is equivalent to A cos omega 2 into t, where the amplitude and phase are the same, but the frequency is varying. Let us also assume that omega 1 is greater than omega 2. When these two waves superimpose, according to the principle of superposition, the net amplitude S is equivalent to S1 plus S2, which is A into cos omega 1 into t plus cos omega 2 into t. Taking the mathematical identity cos C plus cos D, we get S is equivalent to 2A cos omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2 into t into cos omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2 into t. Omega 1 minus omega 2 will be very small as omega 1 is greater than omega 2. And let us take this to be equivalent to omega b. Omega 1 plus omega 2 will be very large, and let us take this to be omega a. Then the net amplitude S is equivalent to 2A cos omega b into t into cos omega a into t. Here, cos omega a into t will vary rapidly with time, and 2A cos omega b into t will change slowly with time. Therefore, we can say that 2A cos omega b into t will be a constant. As a result, 2A cos omega b into t has an amplitude as it has a small angular variation. Now let us see what is meant by beat frequency. Beat frequency is defined as the difference in the frequencies of the two waves. If we consider a wave of frequency omega 1 and another wave of frequency omega 2, then beat frequency is defined as omega 1 minus omega 2, which is denoted by omega. We know omega is equivalent to 2 pi nu. Therefore, nu beat, that is beat frequency, is equivalent to nu 1 minus nu 2, that is equivalent to the difference in their respective frequencies. In the figure, you can see two waves which are of nearly equal frequencies. The third picture represents the formation of beats, which is actually the waxing and waning of sound waves. Hope you might have got an idea about the concept of beats and also the superposition principle. Thank you, dear students.